Hey, what's up guys? Mitzel Mobile here. We are working on a 2013 Hyundai Sonata. Customer stated that the steering wheel was making a weird clicking noise. I'll show you guys here. See that? So on these Hyundais, on the steering column motor, there's two gears, right? And in between those, this little rubber bushing sits in between those metal gears. And after time, metal on plastic, constantly moving back and forth, that little steering coupler, it just melts away, it disintegrates. You can come down here, twist the steering wheel, and then kind of gauge where the sound is coming from. And then also you can kind of feel around with your hand and then move the steering wheel at the same time. And wherever you feel more movement on the shaft here, if you feel it up here, then it's going to be coming from that coupler, because they could also be these U-joints in here that go out, but it's rare. First things first, you got to be safe. You got to disconnect your battery. Then you pull off this tab. This comes right out. And you got 1, 2, 3, 4 screws. And this should come apart, pop right out. Just a quick note, this side over here is a little tough to take out. Kind of have to pull up at an angle. Don't pull it straight out because you could break these tabs. Now disconnect the connections, just like that. And you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Easy peasy, guys. Don't get discouraged. Next, you gotta remove this little bolt right here that holds this lower shield. Turn the wheel. You got one on that side and one on that side. All right, once you get that, this should just pop right out. This should pop up. Make sure you tilt your steering column down. That should come right out. All right, now we get to the juicy part. This connector right here, you gotta free it by putting in a little pick. And boop. It should pop right out. It's like that, like magic. This connection, you gotta press on this little tab here. And just like magic, boop. This connector has a little tab here. You can put in a little pick or try pressing that down. It should come right out. These other ones are pretty self-explanatory, but if I find one that needs explaining, I'll record it. That one. Make sure you disconnect everything, because once this column drops, you don't want to ruin any wires, because once you do all this work and you put everything back and airbag lights on and airbags get blown in your face, which, you know, we don't want that, right? We want to finish this job. Looks like for the clock spring here, pull down on this, and there's a little lever here, pull. Then you got these boogers over here. You got this one here that goes to your switch. Just put a little pick under there. Boop. Got this connector here. Yeah. Boom boom. You see, these are supposed to be dangling free, because remember, the whole steering column is gonna come down. This is what you want. You want them all to kind of dangle free right here. Looks like we still got one here. I think this is aftermarket, so you guys might not have it on your car. Okay, so this vehicle was equipped with an alarm system, so it had these 3 wires going to the body control module. and it has its own ground. So this is for the people that have an alarm system. You're gonna have something that looks like this. For the rest, ignore it. So we can go on to the next step, which is the U-joint. There's a retaining bolt on the shaft. So we got a 14 millimeter there. I'm gonna use an impact because that bitch is on there pretty damn good. And then this should just drop. It should drop like that. While you're in here, you can inspect these U-joints, grease them if you have to, but that's the way to do it. Now we got to get at these bolts here. We got 1, 2, 3. Here's the fourth one. The fourth one. 4. And do this one carefully because the whole steering column is gonna start to drop. Don't forget that last white connector on the module. I almost forgot that. You can easily just rip those wires out because this thing's pretty heavy. Also, don't forget that air duct over there. I just noticed that I forgot to take that out because it snapped. Well, it didn't snap. What I'm saying is that it didn't break. It just came apart. Also, you have some connectors over there that go on the motor. Alright boys, I caved in on the last one. This one here. So the wiring harness was clipped onto here and it was a bitch to get out. So if you want to save this clip, I suggest you do it before you remove these 4 bolts, because if not, you're gonna be struggling. But if you do find yourself in the same position that I did, you just use yourself a little snippers and you snip, 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 and you're all good to go. Just when you install it back, make sure to use a zip tie. You should be all good. So you get yourself a T30. All right, let's see what's inside. Look at that. Completely disintegrated. Just gone. Look at what it should look like. This is what the coupler should look like. It's just completely gone. Alright, so let's get this all cleaned up, put in a new one, and reinstall it. And actually, just going off on a little tangent here, why don't the manufacturers re-engineer a bushing that's of a more tougher rubber compound? Because these are the exact same. That one's only going to probably last another 6 years or so. This is a 2013 and it's already been replaced once, so I don't know. And of course this part's only a few cents, and this whole repair is about $350. All right, all clean. What do you guys think? No, so it helps to use like one of these helps to use these non-abrasive brushes to get the last bits out. And that's the end result right there. And you just pop this little baby back in there like that, boop, and reassemble. This motor's back in. Now it's time to reassemble. There's this little hook here that allows you to hook it on the inside. That way you can kind of guide this up and you're not just holding the full weight of it. Hey, so just a tip when you're putting this steering column back, get under it, because if you're trying to do it sitting down, it's gonna be 10 times as hard because you need to get leverage on it. So remember when I said earlier that something snapped? Something actually did snap. You need to remove this screw here. If not, you're gonna break this. Also, just a quick tip here. Make sure that you lock the wheel in place. That way when you put the locking bolt back in, everything lines up and you're not having to turn it and then see if it fits and turn it and then see if it fits. So just make sure you remove the key lock it in place. That's it, guys. If you guys have any questions, put them down in the comments, like the video, and we'll see you on the next one.